The concept of cycles is introduced, describing the eternal patterns of birth, death, and rebirth that govern existence. Humanity's journey through multiple civilizations is outlined, each reaching great heights before ultimately falling. This cyclical nature of rise and fall is presented as an intrinsic part of life's progression. A lost civilization called the Sahin foresaw their own demise and took measures to preserve their legacy. They selected 9 individuals to be shielded from death, tasking them with protecting the Sahin's knowledge and guiding humanity's rebirth. These unknown 9 have continued their mission through the ages, fighting against the cycles of destruction and rebirth. The narrative shifts to a dialogue between 2 characters, Raka and Haruna. Raka, seemingly a mentor figure, is leading Haruna on a dangerous mission in a harsh desert environment. Their destination is a distant oasis, and Raka emphasizes the importance of following instructions precisely. The purpose of their journey is revealed to be related to Vincent, a former pupil of Raka's who has become misguided. Raka begins teaching Haruna about the mystical aspects of their world. She introduces concepts such as shade, the fold, and arm. Haruna learns to channel energy from the fold into special braces, demonstrating a connection between the physical world and a mystical realm. This training prepares Haruna for the challenges ahead as they continue their journey towards Vincent. The pair encounters a group of dangerous individuals, formerly part of the Lepia Society, now following Vincent. A confrontation ensues, revealing that Raka and Haruna possess unique abilities connected to the fold. Raka explains that while their opponents lack their mystical connection, they have numerical superiority and can emulate some of their talents through devices. As they progress, Raka elaborates on the parallels between Vincent's path and that of the Sahin, warning about the dangers of self-righteousness and good intentions gone awry. They navigate through an approaching storm, using stealth to avoid detection by Vincent's followers. Haruna demonstrates growing proficiency in using her newfound abilities. Raka continues to guide Haruna, teaching her to be mindful of her surroundings and to recognize opportunities in seemingly perilous situations. They overhear Vincent's followers discussing their plans to excavate the area, hinting at the search for ancient artifacts or knowledge. The narrative intensifies as Raka and Haruna engage in more direct confrontations with Vincent's followers. Haruna's abilities continue to develop, and she learns about stepping, a technique that allows her to temporarily control others by manipulating their shade. Raka warns about the risks and ethical implications of this power. Raka introduces Haruna to fold anomalies, pockets of knowledge trapped in the surface fold that can be used to learn new skills. They discover that Vincent has found an artifact called the Oculus, which appears to be of great significance. As a sandstorm approaches, they use it as cover to infiltrate Vincent's camp. Haruna's training intensifies as she learns more advanced techniques like stepping and scribing. Raka emphasizes the importance of finding and using scribings, which come in 2 types, one for drawing more am from the fold, and another for increasing life force. The stakes of their mission become clearer as they near Vincent's location. As they approach their final destination, Raka and Haruna must navigate carefully through Vincent's followers. Raka explains that the location wasn't chosen randomly, implying deeper significance. The sandstorm intensifies, adding urgency to their mission. Haruna is instructed to use her newfound abilities and follow Raka's shade through the fold, highlighting the culmination of her training and the critical nature of their quest. The protagonist and a companion seek cover, with the companion guiding them. They discuss the importance of finding one's own way in life, despite the challenges that may arise. The companion emphasizes the need to realign one's moral compass when faced with difficulties. They spot hooded figures, but are pressed for time and must keep moving to find a way out of the cave they're in. The hooded figures are identified as the 9, once considered the wisest among the Sahin. Their hubris led to their downfall as they believed they could overcome cycles of destruction. Now, their remains are scattered across the world. The companion explains that fear ultimately overcame the Nine, reflecting on the universal fear of death. They continue moving, finding a way out ahead after surviving a destructive storm. The pair enter a new area described as cursed ground. The companion instructs the protagonist to stay behind, reminding them of a previous conversation about a symbol representing family and being part of something larger. Tension builds as someone is heard rapping on a door that should remain closed. The companion reassures the protagonist of their constant presence before the scene shifts dramatically. A confrontation unfolds between characters named Vincent and Raka. Vincent, representing a group called the Ascendants, claims the Leaper Society is dead. He speaks of a dying world and immense suffering, suggesting a better path exists. Raka challenges Vincent's motives, implying he's after power. The situation escalates, with Vincent offering a choice between an easy or difficult resolution. The scene shifts to an interrogation. A man questions the protagonist about their interest in the Ascendants and Vincent lore. The protagonist claims to be working for someone else, leading to a tense exchange. The conversation reveals that Vincent is in a jungle village accessible through local fishermen at the docks. A boat called the MTI is mentioned as the means of transportation. The protagonist, revealed to be an Indian woman with bracers, is being pursued. She engages in combat with multiple attackers, demonstrating significant combat skills. The Ascendants have established a presence in the area and are actively searching for her. She navigates through various obstacles, including locked doors and water-filled areas, while evading capture. The pursuit continues as the protagonist makes her way towards a lighthouse and nearby docks. She overhears conversations about a fugitive woman and encounters resistance from local people, unwilling to help the Ascendants. The protagonist reflects on the Ascendants' sense of entitlement and their impact on the local population. The protagonist continues to evade capture, moving through a market area towards the lighthouse. She reflects on past experiences and encounters, demonstrating her resourcefulness and combat skills. The Ascendants maintain their pursuit with increasing urgency and aggression. After an intense chase and combat sequence, the protagonist reaches the docks. She encounters a boat captain named Luther, who offers her a ride. Despite initial tension and questioning, Luther agrees to transport her. They discuss their backgrounds and motivations briefly before parting ways. The protagonist encounters another character who is also pursuing something called the Morning Star. They form an uneasy alliance, agreeing to work together to navigate a cave system that will lead them to their destination. The new ally provides a shortwave radio for communication. They discuss the Ascendants and the protagonist's mysterious past connection to the area. As they prepare to infiltrate an Ascendant stronghold, the duo overhears that the operation has been unsuccessful and that their target, Vincent, has already left. They strategize on how to proceed, leveraging their surroundings and the protagonist's unique abilities to move undetected. The protagonists are on a perilous journey, discussing the surprising number of survivors and encountering an unexpected obstacle. They express distrust in horseless carriages, emphasizing the importance of understanding a machine's inner workings. Upon reaching their destination, they discover a cave entrance and proceed cautiously, aware of potential dangers lurking nearby. As they venture deeper, the characters note the vast area they must cover, including underground architecture. There's a palpable sense of unease, with one character feeling constantly on edge. They encounter unexpected challenges and narrowly escape danger. demonstrating their resourcefulness and quick thinking in high-pressure situations. One character reveals their profession as a treasure hunter, seeking knowledge rather than material wealth. They come across impressive ancient architecture, which one character recognizes. They work together to activate a door mechanism using a mysterious power source called Am. The character named Haruna demonstrates knowledge beyond what would be expected of a local, piquing the interest of their companion. The duo proceeds cautiously, aware of potential threats. They discuss their mission, which involves pursuing someone named Vincent Lore. It's revealed that one character has a history with Vincent, having once moved in the same circles. As they progress, they encounter hostile forces and engage in combat, showcasing their combat skills and teamwork. The characters ponder the age and history of their surroundings, touching on themes of progress built on conquest. They navigate treacherous terrain, with one character nearly falling due to loose ground. As they approach their destination, anticipation builds for what they might discover. They reach their goal, a majestic airship called the Morning Star, which belongs to Vincent. One character reveals their motivation for pursuing Vincent, revenge for a loved one's death. The other character, while not discouraging this quest, warns of the dangers involved. They begin formulating a plan to steal the airship. The characters encounter obstacles in accessing the camp where the airship is located. They devise a strategy to bypass security measures, demonstrating their adaptability and resourcefulness. Their infiltration is met with resistance, leading to intense confrontations with camp personnel. As they navigate the camp, more of Haruna's background is revealed, including a nomadic childhood. They discover the airship is tethered and must be released. The camp is on high alert due to their presence, adding urgency to their mission. They split up to create diversions and deal with guards more effectively. The characters continue their efforts to secure the airship, facing increasing resistance from camp security. They demonstrate combat prowess and strategic thinking in overcoming these challenges. As they near their goal, tension mounts with the realization that time is running out. A major confrontation occurs, revealing that Vincent has already departed. The characters engage in a fierce battle, showcasing their skills and determination. Despite the setback of Vincent's absence, they manage to secure the airship, though at a cost, losing an important journal to their opponents. Having escaped with the airship, the characters focus on disabling tracking devices to evade pursuit. This process reveals more about the advanced technology they're dealing with and the extent of their opponent's resources. The character piloting the ship hints at collecting allies to aid in their mission. Upon reaching their destination, new characters are introduced, including Bukra, a logistics partner. Tensions rise as Haruna's true identity and the significance of an amulet are revealed. The group, identified as the Leap Society, discloses their mission to rescue someone named Raka, who is believed dead. The situation becomes increasingly complex, with conflicting agendas and revelations threatening the fragile alliance. The scene begins with a conversation about an amulet and a journal that could lead ascendants to a village. The characters discuss the Old Baths village and mention repairing a bridge. They express concern about the monsoon getting worse each year. A character excitedly describes meeting an amazing person named Raka who understands their talents and offers to teach them. Another character expresses skepticism about trusting Raka. The conversation reveals that Raka gave the speaker an amulet and taught them about their abilities. The characters discuss the amulet and its significance. One character, Haruna, defends wearing it constantly, saying it helps focus their powers. The other character, Azad, expresses discomfort with the amulet, calling it unnatural. This leads to tension between them, with Azad accusing Haruna of talking about nothing but Raka. The narrative shifts to describe the deteriorating condition of the Shada Bridge. The speaker remembers Azad being afraid of crossing it. Despite its poor state, the speaker attempts to cross, hoping for a bit of luck. Unable to cross the bridge, the speaker decides to take a longer route around. They reminisce about playing games with Azad in the past, wishing for better memories. The conversation about the amulet continues, with Azad expressing his dislike for it and Haruna defending its importance. Haruna reflects on discovering their abilities, describing it as exhilarating but life-changing. Azad accuses Haruna of talking only about Raka, leading to an argument where Azad suggests Haruna should live with Raka instead. Haruna insists the village is their home and family. The speaker acknowledges that Azad was right and hopes for forgiveness. They describe taking a dangerous path as their only option. The narrative then shifts to a memory of a significant fight between Haruna and Azad, where Haruna hurt Azad deeply. A confrontation occurs as Haruna prepares to leave. Azad expresses concern and need for Haruna to stay. The scene then abruptly changes to a description of the village being attacked by descendants while people slept. Azad led villagers to safety through the river gorge. The attackers, identified as Ascendants, are searching for something. Azad warns Haruna about a hidden marksman. It's revealed that the Ascendants found the village because they took Haruna's journal. The situation is tense and dangerous. Action ensues as the characters deal with the threat. They acquire a weapon and discuss the need to keep moving. Haruna expresses a desire to reach their hut. It's revealed that the Ascendants are searching for Raka's amulet. There's confusion about whether Raka is alive, as Haruna thought she had died. The amulet begins interacting with some braces, puzzling the characters. The characters plan to head to an old temple where they believe Vincent, likely a leader of the Ascendants, is located. They discuss using Haruna's newly learned abilities to confront the threat. A poignant moment occurs as Haruna and Azad remember planting a tree together, symbolizing their roots in the village. The scene then shifts to intense action as they confront their attackers. Haruna and Azad work together to overcome the attackers, with Haruna using their abilities to quietly reduce the enemy numbers. They reflect on their teamwork and past relationship. The characters reach the temple where Vincent is believed to be. They overhear plans to burn the village huts. Azad offers to retrieve Haruna's stolen journal from a dangerous woman named Mo. After more action, Azad successfully retrieves Haruna's journal. They discuss whether Haruna would have returned if not for the amulet. Azad expresses gladness at Haruna's return despite past anger. Azad tells Haruna they can't continue together. He encourages Haruna to find Raka, saying she matters most. Azad advises Haruna to fight to live and die for the right reasons if necessary. The narrative moves to Haruna's confrontation with Vincent. Vincent taunts Haruna, questioning their motives and understanding of the situation. Haruna accuses Vincent of taking everything from them. A heated exchange occurs between Haruna and Vincent. Vincent claims Raka was never Haruna's to have. Haruna presents the amulet, challenging Vincent. An intense battle ensues between them. As the battle concludes, Vincent expresses regret for not dealing with Haruna earlier. Suddenly, Azad appears, having taken a leap to join Haruna. They face new threats together, with Haruna demonstrating impressive skills in combat. The speaker reflects on a close call and Vincent's selfish nature, despite his generosity towards his people. They mention Vincent's private reserve stock and express a need for a drink after the dangerous situation they experienced. The conversation reveals that Raka was being held at an old society station in central Portugal, now run by Vincent. The speaker admits to not knowing Raka's exact location, but can track her in central. Vincent's interest in Raka is related to something called session, found in the fold. This session is described as a dangerous presence that can cause mental breakdowns and death in strong Quaestors. Vincent is obsessed with unleashing it, but lacks the diving skills to reach it, unlike Raka. A ledger indicates that the Ascendants have been moving machinery out of CA. The speaker suggests looking for blueprints or schematics to understand the Ascendants' plans while searching for Raka. They clarify their limited involvement, agreeing to help but not joining any cause. The conversation shifts to Vincent's office, with the speaker inviting Haruna to join the search, mentioning a research buddy behind the bar. The dialogue touches on the emotional impact of discovering Raka is alive after years of grief. The speaker empathizes with the shock and offers support. The conversation then shifts to Luther, describing him as a complex character with deep sadness, using his pain to drive his actions, both in helping people and fighting against those who cause suffering. The narrative moves to Vincent's office, where the characters discover interesting items. They discuss Haruna's unique abilities, describing them as seeing events before they happen and making them real. These abilities are likened to those of a Ganga, a healer who communicates with the other world. The conversation touches on the contrast between Haruna's natural abilities and the speaker's academic approach to understanding the world. The dialogue critiques academic language, describing it as a barrier to knowledge dissemination. The conversation then shifts to Centra, with the characters preparing to meet on the bridge. They discuss shared experiences of loss and grief, with the speaker empathizing with Haruna's shock of discovering Raka is alive after years of mourning. The conversation delves deeper into the nature of grief, describing it as an ever-present force that one must learn to live with. The speaker encourages building a life larger than grief, using the metaphor of a balloon covering the morning star. The dialogue ends with an invitation to continue their conversation in the future. The narrative shifts to a story from the past, set during the Red River War in the 1870s. It recounts a chance encounter between the speaker and Luther on opposite sides of the conflict, highlighting the chaos of war and the unlikely circumstances that brought them together on the battlefield. The scene changes to the present, introducing new characters aboard the Morning Star: Fortunato, the mapmaker and navigator, and Aston, the pilot. Fortunato explains his role as a navigator, comparing it to a conductor in an orchestra, and expresses interest in getting to know Haruna better. The conversation turns to the arts, particularly opera. The characters discuss the importance of making time for cultural experiences like music, with a particular emphasis on the greatness of the opera singer Caruso. The dialogue highlights the contrast between the demanding life of a Quaestor and the enriching experiences of art and music. The focus shifts to Captain Aston, who lays out rules for passengers on the Morning Star. Aston emphasizes that Haruna is not yet part of the crew and warns against touching any controls or influencing her daughter Mara. The captain then describes the unique qualities of the Morning Star, highlighting its advanced technology and impressive speed capabilities. The speaker recalls flying British war zeppelins over China during the Boxer Rebellion. These rigid airships, though primitive compared to later models, were instrumental in the speaker's meeting with Fortunato. The Royal Sky Navy was in its infancy, conducting secret night missions. The speaker, a Norwegian pilot, flew alongside an international group of European pilots for the British, as Norway lacked such an air force. The speaker recounts a daring rescue of Fortunato during a dogfight after his reckless Spanish co-pilot was killed. The conversation shifts to the present, where the speaker, likely addressing Haruna, expresses pleasant surprise at their capabilities. However, the speaker must return to piloting their ship, the Morning Star, to ensure it reaches port safely. The scene transitions to a covert operation near a manor where Ra is reportedly held. The team plans to avoid the front entrance due to tight security. One member, familiar with the manor's layout from years of study, offers to guide the group through servant entrances. However, Haruna decides to proceed alone, confident in their ability to navigate independently and cover more ground efficiently. Haruna continues the mission solo, instructing the team to retrieve Matt's journal, which contains crucial information about Vincent's plans and Raka's potential location. The operation aims for a quiet resolution. Meanwhile, another character senses a strong convergence in patterns around an object, possibly a significant clue. The narrative shifts to a conversation between Vincent and an unnamed individual who appears disoriented, possibly due to prolonged exposure to a mysterious capsule. They discuss the arrival of transports and the need to relocate a guest, likely Rhea. The scene is tense, with indications of an impending confrontation or escape attempt. Haruna heads to the second floor, believing it to be Rhea's location. The team maintains radio contact, emphasizing the importance of communication. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation and the potential for conflict. The narrative describes a tethering capsule being prepared for shipping. This early prototype, despite potential functionality issues, holds sentimental value for Vincent and is destined for his office in Vienna. Simultaneously, Luther locates Dr. Matos, who is surrounded by significant activity, potentially requiring assistance. A philosophical discussion ensues about humanity's cycles of destruction and the quest for salvation. The speaker, possibly Vincent, argues for taking control of destiny rather than relying on the Nine. The conversation touches on the concept of tethering Vincent's consciousness, a solution to his inability to fully reach Sahin, unlike Rhea, who possesses superior diving abilities. The scene shifts to Matt's workshop, where evidence of Rhea's captivity is found. A tense exchange occurs, with one character accusing another of naivety and inability to perceive the looming threats of war and societal collapse. The dialogue suggests a deep ideological divide between the characters. Dr. Matos attempts to escape with his journal, which contains vital information. A chase ensues, with the protagonists determined to retrieve the journal to gain insight into Matos's mind and plans. The situation escalates into a conflict, with gunfire exchanged. The journal is successfully retrieved, deemed crucial for understanding Matos's thoughts. A discussion about the nature of the fold ensues, describing it as a dimension where conventional rules of time and space don't apply. The experience of the fold is likened to seeing reality behind the curtains, potentially explaining Matos's mental state. The team navigates through an old garden with flora collected from ancient expeditions led by the Matos clan. The garden represents a philosophy of harmony with nature rather than domination. While the clan's history is admired, Dr. Matos himself is criticized for aligning with the Ascendants, despite knowing the wrongness of their cause. The pursuit of Matos continues, leading to a checkpoint that cannot be avoided. A confrontation seems inevitable as the team prepares for engagement. The situation intensifies as alarms trigger a lockdown, complicating the escape route. A chaotic scene unfolds with combat and pursuit. Rhea's presence is noted, adding to the complexity of the situation. The protagonists face multiple threats and obstacles as they attempt to navigate the unfolding crisis. The team regroups after a separation, with one member unexpectedly returning with a truck. This act challenges preconceptions about loyalty within the group. They continue their pursuit of Matos's truck, heading towards a ceremonial well used in ancient Quaestor rituals. The team prepares to descend into an underground terminal, a place where the barriers between worlds are thinner. They lose communication with their support as they enter this mysterious realm, emphasizing the danger and isolation of their mission. As they navigate ancient tunnels, the team discusses the nature of terminals, conduits to other worlds, built or discovered by an ancient civilization called the Sahin. The path becomes increasingly treacherous and otherworldly as they approach their destination. The team reaches a critical point in their pursuit, debating the use of explosives to overcome obstacles. They prepare for a confrontation, emphasizing the need for caution and strategic thinking in the face of formidable opposition. The protagonists find themselves in a precarious situation, with the surrounding area on the verge of collapse. They must hurry to navigate through what appears to be a terminal, described as a fast elevator into the deep fold. The environment is permeated by a living material called AM, which one character recognizes from past experiences. Despite the dangers, there's a sense of nostalgia for the adventurous life associated with the Quaestors. The group encounters a problem with one of their members, who seems to be in trouble. They express determination to rescue him, indicating a strong sense of loyalty within the team. The situation is tense, with obstacles hindering their progress, but they remain committed to leaving no one behind. A team member is found alive but trapped in the F, a mysterious force or dimension. The group faces the challenge of reactivating a portal to rescue him. With the main machinery damaged, they must resort to alternative methods to power up the necessary equipment, specifically a Sahin table. The team works on redirecting the flow of AM to power the Sahin table. This process is crucial for their rescue mission and demonstrates their resourcefulness in adapting to the challenges posed by their environment. With the Sahin table operational, the next step involves a risky dive into the F to rescue their trapped companion. The protagonist expresses self-doubt about their abilities, but is encouraged by others who believe in their unique skills and the necessity of the mission. The gravity of the situation is emphasized as losing one's shade in the fold is described as worse than death. The trapped individual, Matos, is crucial for finding Rick's trail and salvaging their mission. Despite the unprecedented nature of the rescue attempt, the protagonist is urged to take action, highlighting the high stakes and the team's reliance on each other. The scene shifts to an encounter with Dr. Matos in a mysterious realm. Matos reveals that the protagonist, Haruna, has been there before, though she has no memory of it. He explains his predicament. Each time he enters the deep fold, less of his consciousness returns. Despite this, Matos sees his situation as a fulfillment of his life's work rather than a tragedy. Dr. Matos describes the fold as a place of eternal wonders. He hints at a greater purpose and offers to help Haruna, particularly in relation to finding Rhea. Matos begins to show Haruna something he deems more important, guiding her along a path that others have traversed before. The narrative takes a surreal turn as Haruna experiences visions of potential futures and past events. The concept of patterns in the fabric of the F is introduced, with Rhea being mentioned as someone who understood these patterns exceptionally well. This knowledge is presented as a gift that has been passed on to Haruna. The scene shifts to a conversation between Vincent and Nikolai, who are venturing deep into an unknown realm. Vincent reassures a doubtful Nikolai, emphasizing the importance of overcoming fear and doubt. The fold is described as a place where death does not exist, hinting at its otherworldly nature. The characters find themselves in a place that seems to encompass past, present, and all possible futures. The fold is described as a realm where powerful minds can shape reality. Haruna is encouraged to use her conscious mind to influence this environment, suggesting a growing mastery of her abilities. Haruna continues to explore the nature of the fold, witnessing how her unconscious mind has already shaped the environment. She is prompted to consciously manipulate the fold, further developing her connection to this mysterious realm. A conversation reveals the fate of those lost in the fold, becoming lost shades eternally searching for a home. This fate is described as worse than death, particularly feared by Vincent. The dialogue hints at past losses and the dangers of their mission. The setting shifts dramatically, with Haruna finding herself in what appears to be India. She experiences a sense of omnipresence and struggles to comprehend the vastness of her surroundings. The narrative emphasizes the concept of chosen paths among many possibilities. The characters encounter a physical manifestation of the fold, described as gold-like. The experience is intense and visceral, highlighting the otherworldly nature of their environment. The narrative introduces the concept of the Cambrian device, a powerful and dangerous artifact. Its location was hidden by a group called the Nine, but Matos discovered its whereabouts through the fold. Vincent and his team are revealed to be heading to Anatolia to secure this device. Haruna regains consciousness, learning that Matos has died. The team faces immediate danger as reinforcements approach. They must find a way to escape their current predicament. The situation escalates as the team attempts to escape. They face multiple adversaries and seek a way out of their predicament. The team continues their escape efforts, with one member planning to destroy a bridge to slow down their pursuers. They attempt to contact allies for support. As daylight approaches, the team's communication improves. They manage to contact the Morning Star for assistance. The escape becomes more intense with close calls and dramatic maneuvers. The team's escape continues with high-stakes action. They demonstrate impressive skills and teamwork in evading their pursuers. The conflict intensifies with exchanges of gunfire and near misses. The team's resolve is tested as they face increasingly dangerous situations. The escape reaches a critical point, with the team facing dire circumstances. They continue to fight and evade their attackers. The protagonists find themselves in increasingly perilous situations, barely avoiding capture or worse. The tension remains high as they struggle to survive and escape. The team's escape reaches its climax with a narrow rescue. Haruna reveals crucial information about the antagonist's destination, Anatolia, and mentions an important artifact. The team now faces the challenge of reaching Anatolia before Vincent's group. The team discusses their next moves, realizing they're significantly behind Vincent's group. They consider using their allies in Cyprus to intercept Vincent's fleet, but face communication challenges. A plan is formulated to use the Morning Star as a giant antenna to boost their signal range. The plan to boost their communication signal involves a dangerous exterior mission to rewire antennas on the Morning Star. Despite the risks, the team proceeds with the operation, showcasing their determination and resourcefulness. The antenna rewiring operation continues with the team member outside the ship, facing challenging conditions. They successfully complete the task, significantly enhancing their communication capabilities. A conversation between Haruna and another character reveals more about Dr. Matos's condition as a rifter. Despite his dire situation, Matos is described as maintaining a sharp mind, unlike many others affected by the fold. The discussion touches on themes of aging, resilience, and the toll of their extraordinary experiences. The scene shifts to a light-hearted moment where a character expresses boredom and a desire for books to pass the time. This interlude provides a contrast to the intense action and reveals more about the characters' personalities and interests. A younger character asks for stories of past adventures, highlighting the generation gap and the allure of the questing lifestyle. The older character reluctantly agrees to share some anecdotes, maintaining a balance between mentorship and maintaining focus on their current mission. The team continues to work on various tasks aboard their vessel, maintaining its functionality while preparing for their next moves. The mix of mundane maintenance and extraordinary circumstances underscores the unique nature of their lifestyle. The team receives confirmation that their message got through to allies who will delay their adversaries. They discuss the significance of the artifact they're seeking, revealing that it can bind a life form to a host. The conversation exposes Vincent's true intentions: to merge with an entity called Sahin, which would grant him immense power at a terrible cost. A personal conversation touches on themes of trauma, healing, and personal growth. One character expresses feeling broken, while another offers a perspective on embracing one's scars as a testament to survival and choice. As the team prepares for their next move, there's a discussion about working alone versus cooperation. One character's tendency to isolate is challenged, suggesting that true strength comes from connection and mutual support rather than solitary endurance. The team faces challenges with their instruments due to the magnetic properties of their surroundings. They strategize on how to use this to their advantage against the numerically superior Ascendants. There's tension as one team member expresses a desire to rescue Rhea, potentially diverging from the main plan. A character ponders their past experiences as a mentor, particularly with MAA, and the complexities of giving someone the benefit of the doubt. This introspective moment highlights the challenges of leadership and the unpredictable nature of personal relationships in their high-stakes world. The scene opens with a discussion about the impossibility of making choices for others, especially those who lack knowledge. There's a mention of taking extra precautions due to recent events. A character is instructed to stay behind to guard the rear and ensure a clear path back to the airship. An anti-stepping device is introduced, designed to counter a character referred to as Quaestor. A confrontation begins as characters prepare for trouble. There's mention of stepping abilities and instructions to line up targets. The atmosphere is tense as characters engage in combat, with one promising not to miss next time. Plans are made to retrieve a device while avoiding detection from Ascendants. The action intensifies as characters work to lower a bridge while fending off attackers. There's a sense of urgency and danger as they fight to survive and complete their mission. Characters split up, taking different routes to meet up ahead. The fight continues with characters demonstrating impressive combat skills. There's a moment of reprieve as they catch their breath and assess the situation. They decide to keep moving, encountering a new threat called Gearheads, advanced, well-armed adversaries belonging to the Lepia society. The group reflects on their progress and the risks they've taken. They enter an area that was once home to thousands living in underground cities. There's a discussion about the persecuted and their limited choices in living conditions. The conversation touches on a society built on the idea of free knowledge and hints at disillusionment with a movement led by Vincent. As they navigate through cave-like structures, the characters discuss the history and geology of their surroundings. They encounter various architectural features, including influences from different cultures. The group is nearing their objective, feeling the presence of a power source. The team reaches their goal, a vault containing the Kamen device. They discover that Rhea's amulet is the key to accessing it. Inside, they find a message from the past, revealing that Rhea is one of the unknown Nine. There's a vision of a woman from the future observing them, adding an element of mystery to their discovery. The situation becomes chaotic as the team is forced to flee from an onslaught of enemies. They struggle to maintain communication due to interference from Sahin structures. There's a sense of urgency as they try to regroup and escape with their findings. The team faces difficult decisions as they learn about Rhea's true identity and her capture. They debate the best course of action, torn between rescuing their friends and completing their mission. The tension rises as they prepare to confront Vincent, aware that they're walking into a trap. The confrontation with Vincent unfolds, revealing unexpected alliances and betrayals. Rhea is shown to be working with Vincent, much to the shock of her former allies. Vincent is revealed to be one of the Nine, adding complexity to the situation. The protagonists find themselves captured and facing an uncertain fate. The captured team is imprisoned on the Morning Star. However, hope is not lost as it's revealed that not everyone was captured. A plan for escape is set in motion, with characters working together to overcome security measures and energy barriers. The escape attempt begins, with different team members taking on various roles to ensure their success. The speaker reflects on their recent victory, comparing it to their prairie days. They urge someone to rest before an upcoming significant battle. A child pleads to join, but is denied due to their youth and inexperience, despite claims of being more powerful. The adult emphasizes the uncertainty of outcomes and the importance of the child seizing their own potential and future. A group approaches recap, anticipating a welcoming committee. They have the advantage of surprise after reclaiming the Morning Star. The speaker plans to handle the perimeter camps while others focus on immediate threats. As they near their destination, the situation intensifies, with orders for all teams to return to the Oculus. The group realizes they need to split up due to the concentration of forces at the main camp. Luther volunteers to create a distraction, despite concerns about his state of mind. The location holds painful memories for the speaker, who lost someone named Rhea there. A companion offers words of wisdom, drawing parallels to past adventures and growth. The landscape has been drastically altered by the Ascendants industry. The group must now pass through a camp, contemplating strategies to overcome the challenge. They encounter an obstacle, likely a gate, which requires effort to open. The situation grows tense as they face resistance. The group hears gunfire and rushes to aid Luther, who has created trouble. They navigate through obstacles, engaging in close combat with enemies. After clearing a path, they continue their pursuit, following signs of Luther's presence. The environment becomes increasingly hazardous, with dangerous substances flowing through pipes. Luther reunites with the group, having drawn enemy fire to assist them. They continue to face challenges, using stealth and combat skills to overcome obstacles. The team works together to operate mechanisms such as a bridge while fending off attackers. The intensity of the conflict escalates as they press forward. The group uncovers the truth about the Sahin's downfall. They learn that the Nine inverted the conduits to imprison Sahin, using energy from their world to create the prison. This act transformed their paradise into a wasteland and led to the collapse of Sahin civilization by cutting off their main power source. A confrontation occurs with Mila, who warns of an impending war that will devastate civilization. Despite attempts at reconciliation, the conflict seems inevitable. The group faces intense combat situations, with members in peril and requiring rescue. The battle continues with increasing urgency and danger. Luther is severely injured in the fight. He insists that the others continue without him, entrusting them with the mission. The remaining members prepare to confront Vincent, entering a dangerous area described as the belly of the beast. They encounter communication difficulties and work to maintain their advantage by disrupting enemy radios. The group navigates through a crumbling structure, facing various challenges and enemies. They work together to overcome obstacles using stealth and combat skills. They discover a conduit for energy, though it appears damaged. The team speculates about the nature of the fold and its properties, drawing on previous knowledge and experiences. The group recognizes the location from previous information, understanding it to be a massive inverter. They learn that the Sahin used this structure to draw energy from the fold to power their civilization, providing context for the advanced technology and subsequent downfall of the Sahin society. The scene opens with a discussion about an ancient civilization and their beliefs. It is suggested that this place was built to funnel energy from our world to power a prison. The attendants are described as magnificent beings carrying out an important task. The atmosphere is tense, with characters preparing for action. A chaotic situation unfolds, with explosives being mentioned and characters scrambling to understand what is happening. There's a sense of urgency and confusion as they try to stop an unspecified threat. The scene suggests a conflict or battle is taking place. The characters discover a power source called condes, which are connected to a prison. Ascendants are shutting them down, and the protagonists are trying to reactivate them. They decide to follow a large cable, hoping it will lead them to the next conde. The environment seems dangerous, requiring careful navigation. A flashback or vision reveals a conversation about the consequences of their actions. There's debate about sacrificing the land to stop cycles of destruction. The speakers seem to be part of a group sworn to make difficult decisions. The scene shifts back to the present, where characters are experiencing strange phenomena related to the fold. The characters discuss the unnatural nature of their actions, manipulating something called the fold. They acknowledge the risks, but feel they have no choice. The conversation suggests they are dealing with powerful forces beyond normal understanding, possibly related to the universe's fundamental workings. The group realizes another conduit has been shut down. They decide to focus on reaching a terminal to confront someone named Vincent. Stealth is suggested as a strategy. The environment is becoming increasingly unstable, causing concern among the characters. A tense confrontation occurs, with characters being pursued or surrounded. The action is fast-paced, with mentions of hiding and being discovered. The scene conveys a sense of danger and urgency. The characters continue to navigate through the complex, pondering about the daily life of the ancient Sahin civilization. They encounter obstacles and work together to overcome them. There's a mix of danger and curiosity about their surroundings. The group faces various challenges, including potential structural collapse and invisible threats. They try to stay calm and figure out solutions. The ancient nature of the place adds to the tension, with characters questioning its stability. Communication issues are causing problems for the group. They express a desire to shut down all conduits and leave. The action intensifies with mentions of intruders and chases. The environment continues to deteriorate, adding to the urgency of their mission. A series of confrontations and escapes occur. The characters are engaged in intense combat or evasion, with frequent mentions of staying alert and not letting their guard down. The pacing is quick, suggesting a climactic sequence of events. The battle against the Ascendants continues, with characters noting they must be close to their goal. There's a sense of nearing a crucial point in their mission, despite the ongoing resistance they face. A moment of reflection occurs between characters, acknowledging personal growth and changes. They discuss telling someone named Luther about their experiences. The tone shifts to a more personal and emotional one amidst the ongoing crisis. A critical device is discovered, tethering Vincent to Ra. The characters must decide whether to disable it, knowing it could have severe consequences. One character goes after them while another works on the device, creating a split in the action. A surreal encounter occurs with Dr. Matos, who seems to know more than expected. The conversation touches on themes of time, repetition, and the nature of reality. It's unclear if this is a real interaction or some form of vision or memory. A conversation between Vincent and Raka reveals conflicts within their organization. They discuss the nature of good and evil and the potential of a powerful entity. Raka hints at her own mortality, suggesting a shift in perspective that could be exploited. A tense confrontation unfolds, with characters exchanging threats and warnings. A mysterious figure offers advice about fighting against death and leaving a mark on existence. The scene is charged with danger and philosophical undertones. The final confrontation with Vincent begins. There's a sense of destiny and inevitability as the characters face off. The stakes are high, with mentions of divine business and taking control of the situation. The battle reaches its climax. Vincent's tether is cut, and there are references to Quaestors being cast into the fold. Raka takes action, leading to dramatic consequences. The scene is chaotic and filled with significant events unfolding rapidly. The aftermath of the battle sees characters dealing with the consequences of their actions. Sahin, a powerful force, is merging with Raka. There's a mix of regret, acceptance, and determination as they face the results of their choices. A new waterfall is discovered, providing a clear view over the valley. This landmark is significant as it has not been seen for 100,000 years. The path ahead involves navigating around collapsed sections, highlighting the challenges that lie ahead in the journey. The experience of exploring ancient history in the open brings a new perspective, contrasting with the usual darkened caverns. It raises questions about the fall of the Sahin civilization and the potential for current endeavors to succeed where they failed. The concept of becoming the eighth of the 9 guardians of the patterns of convergence is introduced, suggesting a larger purpose and responsibility. The idea of becoming part of the 9 guardians is further explored. It represents an opportunity to be part of something larger than oneself. There's a moment of self-doubt about the ability to collaborate effectively, but this doubt is challenged by recent experiences that suggest otherwise. A deep, instinctive feeling of being in the right place at the right time is described. The prospect of becoming one of the 9 guardians is acknowledged as potentially life-changing. Self-doubt is framed as a positive trait that maintains humility and connection to the world. The journey continues with the need to power a mechanism, highlighting the practical challenges of the quest. The dramatic nature of the Sahin civilization's constructions is noted, with a hint of criticism towards their perceived self-importance. Despite this, the effectiveness of their designs is acknowledged. The path forward requires taking a longer route, showcasing the physical challenges of the journey. An unexpected encounter occurs with Raka, who has managed to manifest despite being imprisoned. This meeting is crucial, as it allows for a heartfelt conversation and explanation of past actions. Raka expresses regret for keeping emotional distance and explains the fear that motivated her actions. Raka continues to explain her past decisions, revealing that her quest for immortality was misguided. She acknowledges the importance of the relationship and expresses gratitude for the meaning it brought to her long life. The conversation touches on themes of mortality, protection, and the cyclical nature of their world. The conversation with Raka concludes with her expressing a desire to leave the world better than she found it. She bids farewell, promising to reunite in another realm. This emotional parting marks a significant turning point in the journey, closing one chapter and opening another. After Raka's departure, there's a moment of reflection on the strange experience of being an observer in one's own body. The paths of the characters diverge, with one staying to fulfill their destiny and the other leaving to rebuild a secret society. The parting is not seen as final, with a belief in future encounters.